folks, I'm going to tell you 5 quick facts about black bull markets. Now, did you know, number 1, they're New Zealand FMA regulated. Number 2, did you know they have a copy trading service where you can either be a signal provider or copy signals? And number 3, did you know they've got over 26,000 tradable assets, including Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and even more? And number 4, did you know they offer 500 to 1 leverage? And number 5, if you open up an account today and trade 1 lot a month, they're going to give you TradingView Pro for free. Check them out, Black Bull Markets.
Good morning, folks. My name is Zach, if you haven't been here before. I don't know why I'm defining myself like that. I'm trading in this account right now in drawdown. So it's been a couple weeks. I've been traveling a bunch, and I think that probably played into it a little bit. So I am, if you don't see recaps, then I am on reduced risk as I kind of get my head on my shoulders. So that's where I'm at today. I am at the beginning of this, I was doing a daily retest of the day before to check in on the kind of basically backtest the strategy that I'm trading to, in order to kind of feel better about, you know, how it performs throughout the day and stuff. So you're coming in here when I am just finishing that up before I can actually get trading today. So I'm gonna try to get back to that practice. I will still share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at strategy wise. So hopefully you can see that okay. Nobody's posted anything saying that I'm muted or anything like that. So anyways, I'm just going through yesterday for UJ and testing out to see what the results would have been if I took every trade that meets the setup requirements. And I just input into a spreadsheet so that I can kind of look at results. And I do record losses. I record what time the trade would have triggered. Just 337. So that's a loss right there. Well, actually, it's break even now I look at it. So the way I manage this setup is as price moves, this one's a loss though right there. So I'll put that in. As price moves into 1R, 2R, 3R, 4R, up to 5R targets, and I slide the stop out behind that to, never mind, that's not a trade. To just kind of protect as it goes along. So there's no, it's not based on any structure levels or anything like that. It's just really straightforward, trying to keep it simple. So let's see, I think this will be a trade right here. And I'm just using the fib tool because it has to be at least a 50% retracement, which this one is not. So it does right here, it just doesn't quite get there. So there's no trade. So essentially what the system is that I trade short when the moving averages are stacked this direction, and long when they're dotted lines on top of the solid line. I do try to look for periods where it's actually separated and not just back and forth crossing, zigzaggy across each other. And then I look for a raid, a spot where price pops up above previous high and then drops down below previous low, which this is a really good example of what it looks like because you can clearly see the level right here that gets rated before it just slams down, but then entry, there's no 50% retracement or more, so can't take that one. So you could look at this move here, but again, no 50% retracement, so there's nothing there. This one would I'd probably get in on and get stopped out here. Let's see. So yeah, you can see part of the next rule is that there has to be a fair value gap left in the move lower. In this case, you can see here during these two candles, it fills that up, but then retraces up past stop loss area there. So that is a -1. Oh, I just realized I'm testing this on the wrong little part of my spreadsheet here. Hang on. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm almost done. I'll get to today's stuff. So there's a kind of a nice little rate up here, but no gap left for that one. Oh, I guess there is one right here. All right. So that one's interesting because if the entry is in this fair value gap here, then you get a totally different risk reward type setup. So comes back up here to fill 532. And tags out 1. And then 2 gets touched before going back to 1. So that's a 1-hour trade. Let's see. Can someone give me just something to make sure that you guys can hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me. Let me know where you're from or something to make sure I'm not operating in error. So try to avoid these areas right here where it's yesterday had a kind of a crazy swing once the news hit in the morning. Okay, there should be a setup here. Whoa, get a little too big there. Okay, where's gap? There's gap right above 50% here. There's a gap at the very top up here. So for this one, I would take the gap that is first right there. So that tags out even this candle right here, maybe, depending on spread, probably this one. So 933. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Fred, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, that one doesn't quite get to 2, so it hits 1, so that's going to be a break even. Let's see, I just want to check the calendar for today before I forget. Pending home sales, 7 a.m. Put that onto calendar. Okay. Almost done here, I think. Let's see. Oh, that's weird. Hmm. All right, so there's a little entry there. Big, kind of this big gap. That is at 1020, and it hits 2 before going back to 1. And I have checked statistics, or I guess data on if I didn't do a sliding stop, if I just did 2R all or nothing, 1R, 3R, all those kind of things, and the occasional big hitting trade of 5R offsets the the ones and twos. So all right, so it just gets to break even. All right, if you're just joining in for the moment here, I'm just finishing up my back testing from yesterday, going through. It's something I used to do every session, and haven't done it in quite some time. And I think it's detrimental to me, so I'm not wanting to get back at it and get a look at my trade, at the trade setup, see how many times it forms throughout the day. Gives me confidence. Excuse me, geez. Gives me confidence in taking trades throughout the day. So just trying to see if I'd actually end up entering this trade here. Probably not. I don't think I would have gotten in on that 1 point dip into the fair value gap there, so I'm just going to leave that one. Here's the beginning of the more aggressive moves. New York session. So let's see. Here we go. Gap there. All right, I would have taken this one probably right around 50%. So that is 1302. Get up to 1, get up to 2, get up to 3. Does it dip back to 2? No. Gets up to 4. Does it dip back to 3? Not quite. So this would be a 5R. That's a good one. It's kind of unassuming because I almost kind of skipped right over this possible setup, but I'll explain here in a second. So there we go. All right, so it has to be a rate, which is dipping below an old low. So we have an old low, or technically 2 right here, 1 there, 1 there. So it dips below that, then moves up above the previous high, which is right here. Leaves a fair value gap in the wake of that move. So there's 1 gap, 2 gaps here, and the retracement has to be into 50% or more of the move itself. So by itself, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but you can see this is the one that would be a nice profit for the day, getting up to 5. And if I had different management, up to 10 or something like that. So but this is how I'm testing it. This is how I'm trading it. If you've watched before, I am trying to use this challenge as a new level of discipline. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been, like I said, I was traveling, and I think I kind of just was throwing trades out there, and it was not very helpful. So that's why I'm trying to get my head on straight, get back to my good practices. I'm still going through mentorship, so I'm not uh, like switching full gear to the ICT 2022 mentorship model. I am, like you'll see in a minute, I do have the index open on my charts just so that I can um, just so I can be practicing what that looks like and keeping it separate from the UJ and the EU. It's kind of ugly, but I guess it is technically a setup. Pops above short-term high, drops below short-term low. And is there a gap? That's the last thing to look for, like that. No, I'm just gonna skip that one. I don't think I would be doing that. Nothing. So read, no drop below low. This is the drop below low here. So I can use this raid still. It doesn't have to be the same move. This is a good one. Cool. Gap is right in here. So order entry would be right there at the bottom of that gap. Oh, 1943. Goes to 1, goes to 2, goes to 3. Let's say it goes to 4 and slides back to 3. It's hard to tell. Just play conservatively, so 3R. All right, cool. So that's the end of backtesting back to today. Let's see, I have you going. Here we go. All right, cool. So I'll be following those same rules for the two charts on the left, USD, JPY up on the top, Euro, USD on the bottom. You can see I've got my bias showing up there. I'm trying to practice reading that bias before the day gets on. So I did that yesterday. Well, for me yesterday, it's like 2 p.m. when the session switches over. So I've been trying to practice that. Yesterday, my bias was definitely wrong. So I will be on the left side looking for that setup of rating highs, the little one available here. I get my lines right, geez. All right, so that you can see pretty clearly that rate there, but I need to move that drops. Oh, actually, there's a little mini setup. Look at that. So teeny, but it would have worked. That's just a little bit late. You can see that this wick drops right up in there. So I guess I can put in my order. This is my stop line. Where's my limit? There it is. If it decides to go back up in there, I can hop in. It's kind of scary with how tight that is. That's I guess 8 pips. Okay, so that's a entry there. It's really tight, and I don't necessarily trust it, but it is in the trade there. I'm not sure why that flashes for you guys, sorry. One thing I did, I think just yesterday, is I was really concerned with the dollar amount money, and so I was like leaving my, I guess you guys can't see it, but right down here it tells you how much profit you have going or loss or whatever it is, and so I would leave that open. But I'm actually gonna just set that. I'm gonna work on actually just using structure. I have scripts set up for getting into trades for the right amount of risk, so I don't have to like calculate anything and check balance and stuff. It just does that for me. So I use the red line and the blue line. Red line stop, blue line is limit entry. Or if it's a fast mover, I can do it just as a market entry as well. So I don't have to calculate that. I can just kind of chill. I know my risk is set based on the line. So if it gets up there, then that's my risk I've decided, which has been cut in half twice now because of the last 3 weeks of drawdown. So I'm hopeful that being home, just kind of getting back to some of my study practices and practicing this stuff will help get me straight. So right now what I'm looking for is a touch of that 1R line. And actually what I got to do is, this is the initial setup to make sure it fits it in the thing, and then I come back and I use this retracement tool, or extension tool, I guess. It's kind of hard to see the entry line, but it's right there. Do it like that, and then kind of clean it up a little bit. And as it tags out 1R, then I'll slide my stop down to entry. Okay, so we're gonna go to break even. Well, I am. You're not. I don't know why. I noticed that in YouTube videos a lot. It's like, we have this, we have that. And it's like, no, actually, we don't have anything. It's just you. I suppose some people do like copy trades and stuff, chat rooms and stuff. Oh yeah, Fred, let's get a rhyme going. That'd be great. Bust it out. Here, I can put on some music for you guys. You can do some. Who knows what kind of music's in. All right, so that's playing out. Hopefully it wants to move a little bit lower before stopping me out back at break even, but we shall see. All right, so getting some practice in here on the index. On the right side, the light blue background screen. You just set, I like to set a little alarm so I can make sure I move stops as needed. Okay, so looking at the right side here, I guess I'll just make it big like this. So my thought yesterday as this candle finished is that with this short-term high up here, the most likely place for it to reach is going to be up to this old high, because it was like just not quite there. So my thinking is that it's going to be a bear day overall after it reaches and raids out short-term high. Now we also have these two highs up here too, which I suppose could be reached before it wants to go down, but that's kind of my thought. So what I'll be looking for here is a setup that leaves after one of these raids, it's going to dip below. I'm going to actually get down to 15. So it's a similar idea to the forex pairs that I have, except for there's no moving averages. It's more based on structure and liquidity raids and pools and that sort of thing, more directly with the 2022 ICT mentorship. So I'll be waiting for something like that to happen. Let's see what we're dealing with here. So I just drop in lines that represent the last 3 sessions of highs and lows. So green dotted line pops in for yesterday's, orange is 2 days, and red is 3 days. I have the white lines that are daily levels. This one is also this big yellow box down here is a daily body gap. I can't remember what it's called, but when the actual gap is between the close and open of the candles, not just the high and low, or like it's a little different than a fair value gap. So yeah, this is what I'm watching for, is for basically a reversal setup, so to show that it's done up here, and then dipping lower, creating displacement lower with a gap, and then a return to the gap or order block. So my guess is because we haven't heard the alarm that it stopped out. Let's see. Oh, not yet. It's just kind of consolidating in there. So here's an active trade. Stop is at break even. This would be oh, there's news coming. I forgot to. We'll see what that does, but hopefully get down to 2 hour first before the news hits. Then I have there's a little bit of wiggle room. But I noticed a lot of times before news, and you get smaller ranges. So there we go. Come on. It's always nice when you get at least to break even. Sorry, I just realized my face was right in front of the camera. Get to break even so you can, you don't have to. It's a free trade essentially. It's kind of nice. One thing I'm working on too, I almost said you don't have to worry about the trade being a loser, but the only reason I'm even considering that as something to say is because I've been in drawdown for too long. So as I all right, stop set 1 hour. Let's see. I'm just looking at the bigger picture here for a minute. I'm not going to change my decision, but as I'm learning to trade more directly ICT style, I'm just kind of practicing looking for where it actually may reach to. So I see this level here. If it gets a push in that direction, I would say that direction. Short-term low on the hourly. Looks like that. May not even have an opportunity though. It's already almost This is the bummer about the small entry. You get moved quick, but you also don't have a lot of room for the stop. So it really has to be momentum, quick momentum in one direction. So 5R is my ending point if it has the opportunity. Look how close that got. Jeez. It's like stop out. There it goes. All right. Still take it. 1R. Right as news drops. We'll see what happens if it's. I think it's not like the red on the calendar. It's the yellow or orange or whatever. So it's not the super gnarly news. It's the semi gnarly news. If that makes sense to anyone. All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, I'm gonna pull those arrows back off so they don't block up my, whoops. So we're kind of playing around with levels from yesterday and 3 days ago. These are both the lows of 3 sessions and yesterday's session. Big black line is New York midnight, if you're wondering there. So with the UJ here, I have potentially several opportunities to get in another trade using previous highs. It just has to pop above. That's technically there's one there too. So that just popped. So then if you get a push down below with some energy and a gap down below there, then we can look for another trade. Even here, I don't like it as much because it's so kind of shallow, but so there's possible new trades coming our way here. Our way. There, I just did it again. Coming my way, unless you happen to trade this exact same thing as me, which is kind of feels unlikely. Pretty extended looking on these. I think it's gonna probably be I don't know. Feels like anymore there's gonna need to be a bigger retracement, so we'll see. So you can see this would have stopped me out already for this little guy that I had, the little trade I had going there. Stop was up here. So got a decent raid. it might just be a reversal too. Might need to, like I said, might need to have a bigger pullback. All right, does anyone have any trades running right now? I always like to see what people have going and look at, see if I can figure out where they may have entered or things like that. Let me know if you have any current trades active. So EU has already had a raid, but it also has a little bit further to go in order to get to where I can take an entry, which is up above there. All right, I don't think anything's gonna give me a signal right in this next couple moments. I'm going to run and grab some more coffee. If you have a second and you think about it, what trade are you in right now? That is the question. Let me put it up. Ta-da. Soul Trader, I see your comment there. Waiting till next week. That's cool. I like when people know what they're doing and why. Let's see what else is going on. Itamar Jr. running EU long. All right, cool. So here's another question. Do you that trade journal each trade? Do you journal on a weekly basis, daily basis? How do you keep track of what's working, what's not working? Clean some of these up here. Itamar Jr., are you, what time frame do you trade on? You said you're long in EU. Nice, lots of journaling. That's something I make notes as I'm trading so I can review it, but then I don't necessarily like record it into like a book or PowerPoint or anything like that. I'm trying to figure out what the strategy I need to do, not strategy, how I'd like to do that. Whether it's I tried video logs so I could go back and like just post it to my own YouTube channel and kept them that way, which works kind of good because it's a stream of consciousness instead of writing, which I tend to refine a lot more even as I'm doing it. So structures, little short-term low has been broken. Let's see if there's a gap that forms. It moves far enough down. On the UJ is what I'm looking at here, sorry. So smallest move is there. Okay, there it goes a little bit more. Remember, I have to get back to 50% retracement once it moves past the level in order to get into a trade. So I'm just getting things set up. For a possible trade here. If it decide, actually, I might cancel that order. I have to wait for the gap to actually finish for me. Just gonna make it big here. 5 seconds. Now I can put my order in. So I have a short order in right here on the blue line. It is in a gap. It has broken structure. It is above 50% retracement level. Oops. Yeah, it still works. So that just hit order block. Might not give me the entry, which is okay. Sometimes that happens. Hmm. Hey, let's see, Soul Trader, if you're still tuned in, I'm curious of if you have a what is the reason behind your name, the Soul Trader? Because it's like, it's not like soul, like inside your spirit and soul, that kind of thing. It's like either the bottom of your foot, the alone, or the fish. Just curious. Eddie Fibonacci, what do you got here? Let's see. Can you elaborate on finding your model? Currently, I'm trying different models. 2022, SB. But somehow I can't decide yet which one to solely focus on. Eddie, yeah, this is what Eddie says here, so you guys can see. I'm not sure what SB is. But when I found out I was going to be able to do this challenge with TRADINGNUT, I had been backtesting this strategy that I'm using on the forex pairs. Oh, Silver Bullet. I haven't looked at Silver Bullet yet. I know I watched the video briefly, but it was I'm trying to actually get through the full the mentorship itself. But backtesting, getting at least 100 trades that I would have taken mapped out, and getting confidence that way, and that it is a strategy that can work. 100 trades I've found is actually probably not enough, but it's enough to get me started on this. And like I said earlier, my goal is to practice discipline. So I'm sticking with the strategy. I am managing the trade the way I said I would manage the trade, or at least I'm trying. There's been a handful of times that I've not done a good job at that. So I did miss the entry on that one, but you can see the setup formed again here. So I'm actually going to put in a new order in the middle of this gap right there. So it's right at 50%. Okay, there we go. That's in. That's, Jesus, a little bit strong. A bit excited there for the bull bar. Itamar, I saw you said you have similar trade. Were you looking at the UJ as well? Is that what you're talking about, or something different? Because I'm not sure. I'm not in UU, so. So yeah, Eddie, I think testing and actually going in and recording the trades that you would have taken, I think is valuable. It allows you to be a little bit more confident in what you're doing. I am following the 2022 model for the index. That's why I have that open on that side, so I can start practicing and watching it real time. On the left side, I have forex pairs that I trade, and that was just back tested and I test. I haven't been doing it the last couple of weeks. I've been traveling, but this morning, when I first got on here, you would have seen me finishing up some back testing from yesterday to the session from the day before, and see how many trades I would have taken if I was sitting at the computer for the entire session, and what time of day those would be, and you know, what the risk reward payout would have been. So this one, not super confident in this trade right here. The setup was there, but it's kind of a small stop for what it may want to do. I think we may actually see a move up to retest up here. Maybe put in another raid before it moves lower if it wants to. Hey Tamar, did you get into UJ? Is that what you're talking about on that one? There goes the stop out. And that's okay. That's what happens when you have small stops like that. If I had snagged this entry, wait, would that have? I can't remember what happened there. I think that one wasn't above 50%, was it? Oh yeah, I didn't quite get to my entry. That's what it was. You know, then I may have a little bit more room to work with, but not this time. So I'll look for another raid and then another break below, and we'll see what happens there. Again, I've cut my risk in half 2 times since starting the challenge, or since getting into drawdown actually. So I'm really trying to protect this. I have a goal of passing the challenge. No way. My goal is not to fail. Seems pretty straightforward, right? No, I just I want to really protect the opportunity I have here to do this. The live stream I think is actually super helpful too, because it gets me thinking through. Sometimes people ask questions that are challenging, and I appreciate that a lot. So cut my risk in half twice so that I can level myself out, not be emotionally charged. I can take these trades and get back into a groove and feel a little bit less emotion when I'm doing these trades, knowing that I'm not like blowing away my opportunity. So I'm in like protection mode right now. I'll cut the risk in half again if this week is another drawdown week, and continue to reevaluate. So low risk allows you to not be super concerned. Still paying attention, and still watching the markets and being involved, but not I'm trying to say, I lost my train of thought. It's a pretty big bar happening here on the Spooks 500. However you say that. My bias is that the SPX wants to move lower. I've just been waiting for a move low enough to convince me that it's ready to change directions. This is a pretty displacing move on the 5-minute. It's possible. I think it's gonna. I won't get in unless I see a failed move up into a gap like this here. So see a failed move on the 5 that comes back down, and then look on the 1 for the entry itself. So that's kind of what I see happening here. And it may be that it needs to get above this other daily level up here before it wants to fully move lower. But that's kind of my thought process on the index over here. Couple different levels setting up on these guys on the Forex pairs. I don't think this news is anything super important as far as I remember here. Let me check refinery utilization rate. It doesn't even show up on Forex Factory. Maybe it's because I have filters on. Let's see. All right, so EU has a possible entry setting up in here. So long as we get enough of a move for 50% retracement, should do, it's going to be at the bottom of the gap. All right, so the short-term high right here, the top of this candle here was taken out. It's got a handful of more energetic bars all in a row. Still moving higher. %50 of the move seems more and more likely. what's happening here on the other ones. So I have to watch both of these. Might be a couple more trades to watch here. Might be kind of cool. And that broke intermediate term high over here. So I'm going to go to the middle of the gap on this one. Oops, wrong button. Tried to put in a short order. There we go. Adjust my stop a little bit as I forgot to do that as the move went a little higher. All right, so I do have a long order in on Euro USD down in the middle of this gap. I'm not ready to get in anything on this index chart here on the right. I want to see a return up. Looking at it from the 5-minute perspective, I want to see a return up to this gap and either another test of this high up here or a clear failure within the gap itself. So we'll see. Okay, it's approaching the gap here. Possible entry, we'll see. So you can't really see the green entry line, but it's right basically right at this little blue line here. So leaving without me. I'll leave the order in until this level these levels up here are broken to the high side. You know what to watch there. So USD JPY is either reversing, or it could be if it drops down hard below this area here, could be ready for a oh, look at that, what are you watching? Entry entered long entered on Euro USD. Give you the arrows here. There we go, a little blue arrow in there. Trying to decide how I feel about this big top tail green candle, because it definitely could just be a raid of this top, these bodies here. That's kind of how I'm starting to see that type of candle. It would be more of a worry if it was red, but it was still just like a quick reach up above where somebody could have put their stops right there before moving low. So we'll see. Just finished filling up that gap, even closed below a tiny bit. So confidence is lowering on this trade here. Your USD is moving higher. We have up here to look for 5-minute chart. Could be just doing a bigger pullback. Maybe later today there'll be a reach into this gap. Oh, hey, bud. You can be on the live stream. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so maybe I'll watch that later. See what happens. See what happens. Back to 1-minute chart there. So you can see that in perspective of the 1-minute chart now. It's got some more work to do maybe before it moves lower. So, and I'm definitely a novice at taking daily direction. So I'm not like surprised if it ends up being a bullish day, or opposite of my decision. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna let this Euro USD trade play out just a little bit longer, and then I'm probably gonna depart for the day. Go for my morning walk with my wife and get to my job. So as long as for this strategy on the forex pairs is even if it doesn't get up there, if you can see that the moving averages are starting to get ready to cross, but because of this length and this lower move here, if it crosses and then forms my setup and then brings it back below, I'm good with that. I don't need it to be like this. It doesn't need to be like within this like big opening area. Trying to think of where that might show itself here. So like if it ends up looking like this area here, where it's just kind of choppy, I may still look at it because of the size and the move of this. It could just be finishing a bigger move that it needs to do to kind of reset. So then this is kind of blending in with 3 days ago, 3 sessions ago, low, yeah, low. This dotted line, this arrow, that'll be the next spot where it'd have to push below and leave a gap in order to get in and trade there. So we'll see how that goes. Any other questions y'all have? I'm not the guy that's gonna like give you the golden nugget to make you a better trader. I'm trying to practice to where I am a better trader. But I like answering questions because it challenges my thought process and keeps me kind of actively engaged. So if you have any questions, now's a good time. And then if not, I'm gonna take off for the morning. Also wondering if we're just going to get some consolidation up in here too. Kind of just playing around in this box. It's quite possible. Hey, but look at that. Go back to entry level. I'm actually gonna get rid of that box because it's. Just take the fill off. All right. So what I do need to do. Let's put in my stop level adjustment stuff. What in the world? That's weird. Okay. So I'll let that guy go. See what happens. And I'll talk to you. Well, I'm not going to talk to you necessarily, but if you tune back in next week, then I will be here next Wednesday, and doing some more trading. Like trading? I want to get better at it. I want to be profitable consistently, to be able to take care of my family better. So yeah, I'm gonna keep at it. I'll depart by saying thanks to Cam, Trading Nut. This was an awesome opportunity. It's been a pleasure. And Blue Guardian for the opportunity as well. And with that, I'll bid you all farewell until next time.